Hello, today we are looking at the evolution of the Death Star trench run. This is where at the end of A New Hope, Luke Skywalker flies down a trench for 5 minutes and then fires into a hole. Yeehaw! First up is the Star Wars arcade game from 1983. Who needs textures when you have vectors? Our first trip down the famous trench was this on-rail shooter that featured digitized samples of voices from the movie. The game has 3 attack phases where you destroy the Death Star, with the last one being the trench. Once the Death Star is destroyed, the game then resets, but with increased difficulty. Next we have Star Wars for the NES, Game Boy, Game Gear and Master System. This was the first time players could destroy the Death Star from the comfort of their own home. This is the start of developers altering the shape of the trench to try and make it more exciting. Next up is Super Star Wars for the Super Nintendo. The Super Star Wars games were known for being absolutely brutal. This incarnation of the trench run has you destroy over 80 TIE fighters. Remember in the film when Luke was followed by just 3? My eyes can't cope. For DOS, Windows and Mac, it's Star Wars XWing. In this game you play as Kayan Farlander, a Red Squadron pilot. However, you assume the role of Luke Skywalker for the last 3 missions of the game, during the attack on the first Death Star. The developers decided to ignore the guns stopping in the film.
The guns, they've stopped.
And instead tried to pack as many turrets as possible into the trench. Guns, 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 so many guns. Next up is Star Wars Rebel Assault for DOS, Mac, Sega CD and 3DO. In this on-rail shooter you play as Rookie 1 who takes the place of Luke Skywalker during the battle. Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon are also replaced. Yahoo! Look out! With Rookie 1 being saved instead by some bloke in an A-Wing.
Hey, don't you know you shouldn't be flying up here alone?
Star Wars Trilogy Arcade was released in 1998 after the films were back in cinemas due to the special editions. This game featured a mission from each of the original Trilogy movies, plus an unlockable mission where you fly into the second Death Star. At the end of the trench, you must press the event button to fire the 2 proton torpedoes. It's 1998 and Rogue Squadron is released for Microsoft Windows and the Nintendo 64. Rogue Squadron was packed full of unlockables and bonus content, including this trench run level. The developers here took advantage of this being a bonus level, and decided to add large obstacles, lots of fighters, and sharp bends.
Big switch! Let's close it up!
The sequel, Rogue Leader, was released 3 years later on the GameCube. This had to be a bit more true to the movie as it was a story mission, as opposed to an added extra. The trench this time around doesn't have any bends, but is extremely narrow and still requires the player to dodge beams.
Close up formation.
This title does include a trench run bonus mission like the last game, where as a fun twist you try and stop the attack as Darth Vader. Next up we have LEGO Star Wars 2 The Original Trilogy for Everything in 2008. The trench run section here is very short compared to other games.
Come with me.
However, this is the only game so far where you feel the presence of the TIE fighters behind you. And finally, it's the Death Star DLC for Star Wars Battlefront for the PC, Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Red 3 has arrived.
On the Death Star surface level, the rebels must fly through various trenches with checkpoints in order to blow up the Death Star. The polar trench which the rebels flew in during episode 4 is visible, and players can fly in it, but the developers decided that players would have more fun flying through their own route instead with twists and turns.
Homing missile lock on your ship!
Let us know in the comments how you'd make a trench run level, and thanks for watching.